Alright, so let's talk about fairly common practice. That's merging code between branches. So we're going to assume that we've got a couple of branches and we've been working on a particular branch and we want to merge the changes back into another branch. So how do we actually do that? Taking into account the local repository and also the remote. So currently in this project we've got a branch LR1 here, so you can see, and a master. And you can see by looking at the commit IDs they're both currently identical. And looking at the arrow there, it's telling us that the branch LR1 is the currently checked out branch. So let's make a change to one of these files. We'll just pick one at random, retailer. And let's put a couple of little quick changes in there. Hopefully that's never the case. I never want to pay 100% tax. All right, just a simple little change. Doesn't really matter what it is. We'll save that. Now, the first thing we need to do in the branch is obviously save it. We need to save the changes and commit that to the local repository for that branch. So let's go ahead and do that. We've got the Git staging window open. We can see that retailer is the file that I've changed. I'm just ignoring these other two class files, which really shouldn't be in there anyway. And incidentally, if we wanted to remove those, we probably should take a minute to fix that. We can actually do that up here. You go into the right project, PowerShell, source. Actually, we need to do the navigator to see the right files. So PowerShell, we've got a bin folder. So let's actually exclude that folder so we haven't got that issue anymore. That's going to be team, ignore. Oops, I clicked the wrong option. Yeah, right click, team. I'll click on remove from index. You can see so I clicked the wrong option first, then right click it again, team, ignore. That's what I was trying to do the first time. All right, and we've got an unstaged command now. We've got the git ignore that has been created as a result of what I did. So I can add that either here or down the bottom. In any event, I'm going to choose both options, click on add to index, and we're going to commit this change. Doesn't really matter what we call it there, just do a commit only. Alright, so now we've got two branches. You can see the commit ID is now changed. We've got this string my tax rate method added, and we go back to the master by clicking it and then right clicking and selecting checkout. You can see that that gets checked out without that change. So we've got one branch that's got the change and one that hasn't. So how do we actually get those changes back into master? So let's presume that we tested that method and we found that the code that we like the code from the branch. We want to put those changes from the branch back into our master repository. So the way to do that is we need to make sure we've checked out the project where we want the code to be merged into. So in this case, I've got the master repository selected and checked out. I need to right click, click on merge. I need to choose the branch. It says up here, select a branch or tag to merge into the master branch. Well, we want to click on this local branch because the changes we've made are local. And again, we can confirm that by looking at the commit IDs. There's only one commit ID that's different. The other three are the same. I'm just going to select this, leave the standard options there, commit, and the fast forward options, and click on merge. And you can see here it's telling us that it's now merged those changes. So I can click on OK. And we know that the changes have taken effect because the master commit ID and the branch ID are now the same. And if I scroll down here and have a look, we can see that my tax rate is in the master. All right, so currently we've made the changes at the local repository level. We haven't pushed these changes back. And again, we can confirm this by looking at these remote tracking IDs. They're still set to the original ones for the repository dating back to June 6, 2014. So to now push the changes, we just do a regular push. So we just right click the master branch, click on push. You can see the remote is going to be getting pushed to master. And the remote is origin, and it's the name of the repository, and the branch is master. Leave the default options, click on next, and click on finish. And click on OK. Noting now that the origin master has now got those committed changes. We haven't actually touched the branch LR1 on the remote level, and that's because we were working purely on the local repository. So in other words, I didn't go back here when we're making these changes to the local repository and push those to the remote. because you won't always necessarily want to commit changes both to the local repository and the remote repository. There will be times when you want to do both, but it shouldn't be something you do every time, which is why they usually is a separate step. All right, if we go back now to our repository, refresh or reload, we can see the master has been updated a few minutes ago. Click on change default branch to master. You can see the change was made 3 minutes ago. We can go into easy mock, I think it was. Go to the source folder, retailer, and there's our method. Okay, and we're actually done. Now, in a real world scenario, now that we've confirmed the changes are in the remote repository, you might actually decide then to come back and delete the local repository, this change here, because the changes have all been committed and you don't necessarily need that anymore because you're not affecting anyone remotely. That local branch was there for your working purposes only. So if you wanted to, you go through and delete it as I've shown you in the previous video. All right, so that's how you go about merging changes from one branch to another. I'll see you in the next video.